Hi everyone, my name is Sophia. I am here. I'm based in Miami, Florida. I've known Meenakshi for a few years now, and I'm just so excited to be here on this podcast with you to talk about the things you want to talk about.
How do you feel them now? Like when you said in childhood you could play and everything. Do you feel that it's easy to relate to the people now?
In my case, a lot of people that I grew up with, I'm not as connected to them as I was before. A lot of my friends have kind of just dispersed into different states and they all do very different things. A lot of us, what I see is that we have a very I guess you would call it like a hard-working mentality of like we know the sacrifices and the things that we have to do to get what we want, and we know things don't come easy, right? So we know that in order to get to this point, we have to go through something to get to that point. What I see now is that a lot of people are thinking it's because we have technology, everything is so easy, and people are not really putting that much critical thinking, and people are not really rooted in values anymore like we were, and just doing everything fast, fast, fast. So what I see right now with people my age is we're starting to kind of disperse. We're finding ourselves. Some of us are still in college. Some of us are having jobs. Some of us are creating businesses, and we're still where we're like half and half, right? We're half that traditional mindset of like, okay, let's do all the things right, but at the same time we're kind of we're leaving room for newness. And what's going on now, we're like, oh, but I can also implement this AI tool, or I can implement this into this project, and it doesn't have to be like my mom did it, like sacrificing and working her butt off. I can also do this too. But we have more of that balance, and I see things from both sides really, and I'm not focused on one thing. I'm focused on how can I do something in a way where I'm really taking into account everything that's available to me. What are all my options, and not just sticking with one thing.
So I think that's natural, right? It's good to see that it's not just a one thing, it's not homogeneous. It is people who are different from one another, different, because you're all, from my point of view, I guess, from what you're saying, trying to discover the possibilities in the world around you and the things which
Yeah.
are changing so fast, and also discovering yourself, you know, and each one is finding different options. But at
Mhm.
the same time, there are certain things from when we've been speaking that you say which are very difficult in the way that everyone relates to one another or converses. What are the difficulties that you face?
With people my age,
Yes.
the difficulties that just common interests really. I feel like right now we're at a point in time where at least I feel more isolated than ever with the technology that's happening. People are not getting together anymore. They're not going out or talking, and people are judging too quickly. So if one person doesn't have a similar interest in me, immediately like, oh, I'm not going to talk to them. I have nothing to talk to them about. And I find myself falling into that trap as well. So right now, talking with other people and relating with other people is a little bit has been difficult for me, absolutely, because I feel like I in these past 4 years I've kind of just pulled away from the rat race, you could call it, like that rat race mentality that I was in for so long, and being like, wait a second, I can do things differently. I don't have to do things the way that everybody else is telling me to do things. But then in that process, I've also lost a lot of connection with people that I used to be connected with and I used to talk to a lot of things about. But I'm sure that now if I were to go back and talk to them, it'd be different because I'm also a little bit more mature, and I've kind of been through that in that space. But I feel like right now people are more estranged in a way, where this technology brings us together, but also keeps us more apart at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it is important to know for us to hear that,
Yeah.
because And I think sometimes we are calling this something to do with Gen Z, but it may even be for people of different generations, different
Yeah.
ages. So we don't want to just stick only with the ageism thing. But at the same time, I'm listening from the point of view of where you are. It's in a way you're in a different space because of a particular age or whatever. So, do you feel that people around you, the ones that you meet, are more pessimistic about the future or even about the present, or do they have a sense of optimism and hope?
A bit of both. I meet people who, with the state of the world right now, they think of everything as negative, how every single day just kind of drags on, the same thing, the same everything, and they don't have much hope. But then I see people who are very much present. They don't really think too much about the future. They have an idea of what they were like, where they would like to go, what direction they're headed in, but they're not obsessed with it. And then I have people that I know who are so in the future that they have a hard time being here, and they're anxious about what's going to happen. They're optimistic, but at the same time they're fearful. And I would say that I'm within those two categories of I'm here now, but I'm also in the future. Like I feel like I'm go back and forth with that. When it comes to the past, I also dwell in the past too sometimes, but at the same time, I feel like I'm more ahead, like more present or future. That anxiety with that. Yeah.
So personally for you, let's say, and this is a reader question, I mean a listener question that we have from Eric. Um, what are you pessimistic about and what are you optimistic about?
Whenever I'm pessimistic, I always stop myself. And I say, Sophia, you shouldn't be pessimistic about that. You shouldn't feel bad about that because that can always change, or that's just the way you're viewing it. And I always try to find the positive side of things. In terms of what's going on right now all around us, I'm very positive that a lot of people are waking up to what's happening. A lot of people are kind of being at the driver's seat of their own life now. They are making decisions for their greater good. They are trying to build a better world for themselves, and by doing that, they're also building a better world, right? So they're contributing to that positive outcome. I feel like the negative is always going to be there. There's always going to be a light and dark to everything. But I would say that I'm a little bit pessimistic about how people are just so at the same time that, like, flipping around that token, it's like people are so into obsessed with themselves and their inner growth, and oh, I have to get better and I have to be better and I have to do this, and in by doing that they separate themselves even more from what's happening, right? They're separating themselves and they keep separating themselves. They keep going back and back and back. And at the end of the day, the point is to be able to contribute and to do something positive and to have some kind of momentum in the world. But when you're so focused on how do I get better? How do I, cheat the system and do all these really crazy things like what is trending right now, like biohacking, and like how am I going to create my digital wealth, and all those things can cause you to be very in yourself and not more in your communities where you are creating that positive impact. So there's two sides, right? And I also go back and forth between those two sides as well myself. I find myself being in the driver's seat, like, yes, I'm in my communities, I'm making a positive impact, I'm moving forward, but at the same time, I can be so in my head and so estranged that I don't even know how to connect with people sometimes. And that kind of sets me back too. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we were talking of the culture, at least in social media. So this also I want to know. In social media, there's the cancel culture, let's say. Is it also in in physical life among people that we meet, or is it only online?
I feel like cancel culture has always been there, but it's always been a very silent thing. You know, you can talk to somebody and just not like them, but then you make them believe that you like them, but then at the end of the day you're talking behind their back. You don't like this person. Like that cancel culture is like on social media. It's like this person did this and this person is really bad and we should all hate on this person, and then people are like, yeah, let's hate on you, and they spew hate and like hate, and then they hate so much that that person isn't relevant anymore. But I feel like that's always been happening, like with society. You know, you just it's not in your face, but it's there, and you can feel it when somebody's looking at you and they're like, oh, I don't like this girl. She's, I think she's doing something bad, and they talk, and then that word spreads. So I think that's always been there, and will still be there. But you also have to have the courage to be yourself and speak out about what's important to you, and that's always going to